Fascinating.
You ever felt like doing this when you're dealing with a stubborn person in your life? Could be someone you're dating, could be a coworker, could be a boss. Just remember this. I was reading Will Durant's Story of Philosophy about the great philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, and he said, the uselessness of logic. Nobody's ever convinced by logic, he said. If you want to convince somebody, if you want to change their mind, he said, appeal to their desires, their self-interest, their emotions. And you know, this applies, by the way, if you're an entrepreneur or you want to start a business, this applies in all your marketing. That's why you see Coca-Cola or Pepsi, their little Kardashian commercial that came out, what they were trying to do and what good advertising does. It's not even logical. Like you see, like for the last 20 years, Coca-Cola has been doing ads, and what do? It's just like celebrities drinking the drink. There's no logic. They're not saying, well, we have, you know, this amount of sugar in it, so it's going to taste good. We have 25 grams of sugar. You know, they don't do anything like that. It's not about statistics. People are convinced emotionally. Schopenhauer says we are not far removed from our animal instinct. So if you got a stubborn person in your life and you can't get them to budge and see your side of the story, or if you own a business and you're trying to market a product, I don't know what's going on over here. Leaf blower on the basketball court. You have to start stop using so much logic. Remember what Schopenhauer said, the uselessness of logic. He didn't say it's kind of helpful. He said it's basically useless. Obviously, there's a few people out there in the world that you can reach through logic, but not many. So move on. Find out what they desire. What's their self-interest? What do they want? If you have a boss, don't ask them for a raise. You know, don't ask them for a raise. That's your self-interest. Say, you know what? If I was getting paid a little more, I bet you I would do XYZ for you. Like, I'd make your job easier. Or don't even start with the raise. Say, you know, I'd like to make your job easier. I got an idea. If I come in and do this for you, man, you'd be able to go home early. You'd be able to make more money yourself. And then say, you know what, then at the end, you just say, you know, make that a little easier. If I had a little raise, then I'd be a little more motivated to do this for you. People are in love with themselves. They're not in love with you, even if they say they are. At the end of the day, and it's interesting. I read a scientific study. I forget how they formulated this experiment, but basically it was an experiment about couples, and they said no matter how you analyze it, people love themselves more than their spouse. Even if they do truly have love for their spouse, they still love themselves a tad bit more, almost always. The one exception sometimes with kids, you know, if there's a fire, parents will sacrifice themselves. But if you read the book The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, he says that's because their genes are in their kids, so they're really saving themselves through the DNA inside their kids. Anyway, not to get too complicated there, just remember, if you're dealing with stubborn people and it's not working out, they don't see your side of the story, change up the game, flip the switch, focus on them, and then bring up your needs last. The uselessness of logic. You might be right, they might be doing something unfair and unjust, but if you want to break through the thick skull of people, appeal to their desires, find out what they really want, and help them get it, and then inject your needs last. Anyway, it's a good book. I'm not a great philosopher, but that's my layman's version.